Hello everyone, this is Alex and welcome to another ESO guide. In this video we will be talking about the strongest class in Elder Scrolls Online, and this will hopefully help out newer players as well as intermediate level players and maybe even the advanced ones as well. So in ESO right now we have 5 classes. We have Dragonites, Templars, Nightblades, Sorcerers and the Warden class. Now the Warden class requires the Morrowind chapter, so you have to buy that separately. But I will try and move Wardens out of the way very quickly because ironically they're not really best at anything. They're kind of like a jack of all trades class, and I will be giving you a little bit of information about that as well. Now, in order to determine the strongest class in Elder Scrolls Online, we have to take a look at the most common archetypes and roles that players usually fulfill, and each class has its strengths and weaknesses, but there are some general guidelines which I will try and give you in this video. So usually what players do, and this goes kind of for PvP as well, but mainly for PvE, we have the roles of the tank, the healer, damage dealers, and we also have anything in between, and this applies to PvP mostly, where you're kind of expected to do all of those things on your own, because many times you will be left alone and you will have to do damage and survive and all of that stuff. But generally speaking, there's also another role, and that is the role of supporting class, or if you want to play a support character to give other allies buffs and maybe some off healing. And this is where the Wardens are the most useful class. They can do pretty much anything. They're not really good in particular with anything specific, but what they seem to be very good at, based on what I've seen so far, is providing support as well as a little bit of healing, because they do have some interesting healing skills. So if you want to play a support character, and if you're, let's say you're a PvP player, you have a group that you always PvP with, then Warden can really help you there. So that's it for the Wardens. We quickly move them out of the way. Now, the other roles, we have the damage dealing role, and this can further be broken down into a couple of different things. You can be a physical damage dealer, you can be a magical damage dealer, and both of those can further be broken down into a melee range or in your face, or you can deal damage from far away, or basically a ranged damage dealer. Now, the best class for a ranged damage dealer in both PvE and PvP is usually considered to be the Sorcerer class, and I would have to agree. I would say that Sorcerers are the best damage dealing class, magically oriented damage dealers, ranged ones. At melee range they're not good at all, so only range is what applies to the Sorcerer class. Followed closely behind by Nightblades and even Dragonites and Templars, and lastly Wardens. So if you want to play a ranged magically oriented damage dealer, the Sorcerer should be your class. Alternatively, Nightblade. Now if you want to play a melee magicka damage dealer, the one that fights at close range but is also a magically oriented damage dealer, then the Dragonite class is the best one as of now. In theory, Nightblades should be better, but Dragonites simply perform better because they focus on fire. They have a lot of skills that are also healing them at the same time when they fulfill certain effects. A lot of additional buffs, setting enemies off balance and stuff like that to do even more damage. If you want to play a melee magicka damage dealer, then Dragonite is definitely your class, followed closely behind by Templars and Nightblades. Now, if you want to play a physically oriented damage dealer, at both melee and range, Nightblade is the best class. They have most buffs and debuffs, utility, and straight up damaging skills that inflict certain debuffs at the same time. For example, a melee stamina Nightblade, or a physically oriented Nightblade, has DPS skills that also inflict debuffs at the same time, so that's very efficient. Kinda the same as Dragonites do with magic. They can do multiple things at the same time, so if you have a skill that deals damage and also heals you at the same time, there's nothing better than that. So if you want to play a melee stamina damage dealer, you want to go with the Nightblade class. And if you want to play a ranged stamina damage dealer, physical damage dealer, you also want to go with the Nightblade class. Things like archers, assassins, stuff like that. If you saw the previous build videos that I did, Nightblade is the best class for that, because they also have access to stealth and extra critical damage and all of that stuff. So in the end, melee or ranged, you want to go with a Nightblade. Additionally, as melee damage dealers, stamina damage dealers, Dragon Knights and Templars can be very decent as well, and even sorcerers and wardens a little bit. But that's it basically. So to recap quickly, if you're a ranged magical damage dealer, sorcerer is your class. If you're a melee magical damage dealer, Dragon Knight is your class. And if you're a stamina, melee or ranged damage dealer, Nightblade is your class. So that's it for the damage dealing classes and what they excel at, the best roles. Now let's take a look at the healers. Healers, generally speaking, Templars are the best ones. So if you want to be a pure healer build or a healer character, you want to go with a Templar. And alternatively, if you have access to Morrowind, you can also go with a Warden, a close second choice. If you also want to focus more on utility and support buffs for your group, but Wardens are more useful in PvP, while Templars are more useful in PvE. That doesn't mean that they're not useful in PvP, they're also very useful in PvP as well, but primarily in PvE, healers are usually Templars. Other than that, we have the last archetype or role, and that is the tank role, and this is where Dragon Knights are hands down the best class. When it comes to tanking and mitigating damage, Dragon Knights have the best utility skills and passives, which makes them the most durable ones. They also have some decent self-heals and stuff like that, so if you want to play a tanking character, you can go with a Dragon Knight. This is the best class for a tank. And it can also be useful in PvP as well, because you can edit your tanking character a little bit and provide your allies with a little bit more buffs and stuff like that. Not quite like Warden, but you can certainly do that as well. So that's it for the short video on what is the strongest class in ESO. A lot of players are asking these questions all the time, and the short answer is there's no strongest class really. I mean, I'm sure someone could analyze all the abilities, all the passives, all the possible builds, which will take ages because there's just so much stuff. In ESO, any class can pretty much fulfill any role. It's just that certain classes are much better at fulfilling certain roles than other classes. So to recap quickly, tanks, Dragon Knights, healers, Templars, alternatively Wardens, Sorks and Nightblades can also be healers, but primarily Templars. Ranged magic damage dealers, sorcerers, followed closely behind by Nightblades. Can also be Dragon Knights and Templars, but sorcerers primarily. Melee magicka damage dealers, again Dragon Knights, focused on fire, and fire does the most damage as well. Melee stamina physically oriented damage dealers, definitely Nightblades. And also ranged physical stamina damage dealers, as well Nightblades. They just have too much stuff going on and makes them hands down the best ones. Support additional buffs, especially for PvP. If you want to play in a small group or even a larger group, Wardens can be very nice, and they can also be very decent healers. So that's it for the quick little video on the strongest class. If you got any questions, let me know down in the comments below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of these videos, click the subscribe button. And lastly, I will also be doing a written guide for this video and will be posted on the website. You can check out the link will be in the description, as well as a pinned comment, so you can go and read if you prefer to read rather than watch. And as always, I hope you have a great day, guys, and I'll see you around.